I need to tell you, you can't qualify for one? Man, you should know that by now. So, then other things that are involved in credit inquiries and legal procedures, things like that. So what determines your credit score? Okay, 35% of your credit score is how you pay your bills. Biggest bills being most important. So if you've got a mortgage or a car payment, something like that, that's going to have the most weight on it. The most recent, most important. The last 6 months, extremely important. Okay, so if you were 30 days past due on a credit card in the last 30 days, probably going to cost you about 80 points just because you were late 30 days on a credit card within the last 6 months. So be very mindful of your credit cards that you don't miss one. You know, it's amazing. The amounts that you owe is 30%, believe it or not. This is really crucial. So if you have a credit card and your limit is $1,000, and you have greater than 500 on that card, very negative to your credit score. You want to be below 50%, and Utopia would be below 30% of your credit limit. So if you have like a little $500 gas card somewhere, I wouldn't carry much of a balance on that because it doesn't take much. Or if you get a $500 Macy's card or whatever, I've seen them all. This really hurts your credit score. So you want to keep that low. Be better to put it on a Visa that you got a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 credit limit. Okay, really important, and it makes a difference too. It's not based on all your credit cards, and then you divide it in there. It's based on each individual card. So if you got a Visa that you got $5,000 limit and you got $500 on it, and you've got a Carson's card that you got a $500 limit and you got a $400 balance on, it'd be better to put that balance on the Visa. Okay. Length of your credit history. A lot of times people think, oh, I should shut down all these credit cards that I'm not using. That's false. That's false. You should keep them open because you want to get credit history. Because a lot of people, like I had people close all these credit cards down because they think, oh, that means they think I'm going to have all these open. No, that's not the case. That has nothing to do with your credit score. So, but the length does. Like I've had people, they only end up having 2 references because they closed down all their credit cards that they had throughout their whole life. Now they have like 2 years credit history. So now that, and then they have $500 on a $500 card, their credit score is really bad in that situation. The types of credit that you use, okay. I don't know how many of these places are around, but you don't want to use like finance companies. You don't want to use one of those where you put the money down and you like secured credit cards, stuff like that. That's actually a bad loan or credit card to have. And then new credit, you don't want to shop around for credit. So the way that you have things called inquiries. Okay, an inquiry is anytime you go and apply for a loan, they pull your credit. That's called an inquiry. Okay. Now, if you're getting a loan for a mortgage, you talk to me, you talk to whoever else, Joe's Mortgage. If you have them within a 45-day period, only get hit one time. It's 5 points for the one inquiry. But if you go to me, and then you go to Target, and you get a credit card, you get an inquiry there. That's another inquiry. So they each add up to about 5 points each is what an inquiry costs you.
But if you get the same category with a certain period of time,
within 45-day period, if you go out and buy a car, and they shotgun you. I don't know if they do that anymore, but they used to. They shotgun you all. Oh, who can get back to me first type thing. I don't know if they do that anymore. But if they did that, it wouldn't hurt your score as it did in the past. In the past, it would destroy your credit score. That's the reason why they made that adjustment back probably about 8 years ago.
So what about something small like new cell phone line, new cable service? Because they check your credit. Does that technically affect?
No, that's not a credit inquiry.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're fine. Then they do like different informational things.
Sure.
Yeah, like sometimes you'll get these marketing, like sometimes your credit card or somebody that you're affiliated with, they'll do like a marketing inquiry on your credit too.
What's that?
Huh?
What's a marketing inquiry?
They want to see kind of what your score is so they can market to you. That's why you get all these things in the mail.
The banks do that.
Yep. That's why you get all this stuff in the mail. Like you get, like I get like, I don't know, I get like 5 credit card offers a day. I'm like, seriously? How many credit cards does one need? Right. If somebody was a thief, they could easily get all these credit cards, blow them up, file bankruptcy. Not to give you guys ideas,
Yeah.
but that's seriously. Some people do that too. Really, they do. But yeah, that's how that would work. How is your credit score used in the mortgage application? Any questions on that
We
piece of
had
it?
somebody tell us that when you're dealing with like getting pre-approved and stuff like that, those credit inquiries didn't have a negative effect on you.
No, it's 5 points. But yeah, it does cost you 5 points. But yeah, no, it's I was gonna say something else about that area, but yeah, no, it does. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's 5 points. Yeah, just gonna gauge it for 5 points. How is your credit score used in the mortgage application? Determines the maximum loan to value you can use. So when I run your file through an underwriting, and you have a 640 credit score versus a 740 credit score, I'm not going to get you approved more than likely. Even though my guidelines say that you can get approved with a 640 credit score, a lot of times the underwriting system will not allow me to get you approved on that. So it'll say, nope, sorry, caution, turn down, cannot do this one. So my guidelines say you can do 640, but my underwriting system says no, you can't, unless you do FHA. So that's an important piece there is that. Determines your interest rate. So I put on here the next page here, okay? So what would my rate be if I put 10% down on a conventional financing and my credit score was 740 or greater? This is as of yesterday on a single family home. 740 or greater, you'd be at 3.875. 720 to 739, you'd be at 4%. 700 to 719, 4.125. 680 to 699, 4.25. And then you go under 680, you get killed. 660 to 679 is 4.5, 640 to 659 is 4.625, 620, 639 if you got approved be 4.75. So as you can see, we post the rates on the internet and it all looks good and people think that they're going to get that, but they're not necessarily going to get that. So the rates that you normally see on the internet, okay, is you're going to see, 25% down, certain loan size, 740 or better credit score because you're going to get the best interest rates. Okay, so that's what you're going to usually see. And then what you go is if you go on some of these online places, they'll say, oh, 3.75, but they, you got to pay points. You got a 10-day lock. You got all these crazy fees. So this is what a lot of them will do. You read it in the paper. People say, oh, but I saw in the paper. Yeah, but that's not reality. They just did that so you would call them. And they're not going to really give you that rate unless you pay points and so on. Now we know points is a bad word. Determines which programs you can qualify for as well. Okay.
Does this change depending on how much you're putting down?
Yeah, it does. So if you put down 25%, you're going to have the best situation. Actually, I was telling Bert earlier, like for example, on Friday, I locked people at 3.875 on a 30-year fixed. Okay, but I did have pricing for one guy. He had 50% equity. He got 3.75 on a 30-year fixed because he had so much equity. There's no risk, so it's priced based on risk, perceived risk.
Randy, are you going to talk a little bit about condos and how they will qualify
Yep.
for? Okay.
Yep, we'll talk about that as well.
Okay.
Definitely. What makes up your closing costs? Okay, attorney's fees. Okay. Attorney's fees can vary, attorney to attorney, okay? What we'll normally do is we'll, with your package that we send out to you, we'll send a good faith estimate, okay? And GFE, or good faith estimate, okay? On there we don't have attorney's fees, but attorney's fees normally range in the area of $400 to $800 I've seen. It's probably the highest I've seen. So $800 might be a little steep, probably $500, $600 is probably a going rate. Don't you agree, Bert?
Right around 6 is what
Yeah.
I've been seeing in the
Yep.
city here.
In that area.
Yeah.
Property tax, okay. What happens is normally if you're not putting down 20% or more, you have to escrow, okay? Escrow means that your loan company will pay the taxes for you, and each month you pay them your principal and interest payment. You also pay for your taxes and your insurance in there as well, okay? And what you do at closing is